Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Friday night, and we're going to talk football. I'm extremely jacked up. I got some great coffee. It's maple pumpkin with maple pumpkin creamer. I am over 46% sure it is not vodka, Red Bull, and cocaine. So I'm very jacked up, I'm very, very excited to talk football. I'm also very happy because if you are like me and you jumped on Denver early and got better than 3.5, like I did, you won last night in a very, very close game. We're going to start off talking about Thursday Night Football. Then I'm going to break down every single game, answer every question that you have live. And I got a great show planned. I have a very great show for you planned today. I'm going to go over every single game. And I actually bet on a game. I have action placed on a game. So I am very, very, very excited about this. And we kick off the show. Red hot is Stevie's coming in. Welcome, Stevie, brother. Over under on Dan, already hitting the Dan Campbell nose candy. As everybody knows, I'm not on drugs. Not on drugs. And Red C, live from the bowling alley in New England. He is here. Welcome, Red C. For those of you who don't know, Red C and Homeland joined me on Wednesday. Homeland actually attends Appalachian State, and it's Alex, and so they beat Coastal Carolina, a ranked team, and it's really cool because Alex is a 35-year-old who's a freshman attending the dorms there at Appalachian State. So he's living a good life, man. He's living a good life there at Appalachian State, beating a ranked team. They stormed the field, so he had a great time. Corey is bowling, so he's having a great time too, man. And so, man, thanks for being here. Cocaine makes Dan overestimate his math skills. My math skills are phenomenal. Most importantly, I am 1-0 to start the week. I also have some interesting prop bet action. However, I've been very cold on my prop bets, so I'm going to run some of these props by you and see what you think. I don't know if Jimmy will make the show tonight. I believe he had Cortland Sutton at 6 receptions, and I believe that hit. That's a push. I believe it's a push. I actually don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I'm going to go over every single game. So I'm very, very excited to do that for you. I am going to start off with a game that somebody who I started following, he just subscribed to my channel just today. He actually has a video out. I'm not going to promote his channel, but I'm going to hopefully the Blitz is watching this and we can get something together. I'm all jacked up, so I'm forgotten. I'm going to double check to make sure I am live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and I am live on Twitch. So you get multiple streams you can find me on. I'm going to see if I can get him to come on next Friday. Originally, when I found his channel, I thought he just talked football. Turns out to be he actually bet on this game. He made a separate video that came out today, and I didn't have enough time to put the link in the description, but hopefully he can come on sometime here in the near future. So we can go ahead and get him on so that you see the Dan Campbell quotes like he admitted it, right? I did not. I am over, which greater than. But this coffee and creamer together is really fantastic. Not on drugs. Okay. The one time Dan roots for the Broncos, they crap the bed, so much hope. Shit down the drain, go Bills. Actually, let's do this here before I get into this. Let's break down Thursday Night Football a little more. It would not surprise me, Denver Gator, it would not surprise me at all if Pat Shurmur was fired. All right? It would not surprise me at all if Pat Shurmur, the Broncos offensive coordinator, is fired. It wouldn't have surprised me at all. He's not. The coaching staff is not managing this team correctly. You held an opponent to 17 points and you lost. And you are in the AFC West. You go against Patrick Mahomes, you go against Derek Carr, and you go against Justin Herbert twice a year. And you lost to a team after holding them to 17 points. That's not good enough. That's really not good enough. Shermer, I think will go any day now, to be perfectly honest. The offense, watching the Denver Broncos is like watching a Ferrari haul a trailer because it's so high-powered, it is so good, and they just do everything wrong. Cody Rourke, I'm kind of stealing this from Cody Rourke. He does Locked On Broncos. There was no urgency when they moved down the field. I mean, they were down by 2 scores, and they took like 6 or 7 minutes to get down the field. No urgency, no speed, and there's so much talent on that team. The Denver Broncos have a really good unit. They got Noah Fant. All right, they got Tim Patrick. Don't know, big, tall, really good wide receiver. Cortland Sutton is playing lights out. They don't even want to throw in the ball. They still got Jerry Jeudy. Devontae Williams looks like he could be a stud. And then they got Melvin Gordon, who's a pretty good player. He'll probably hit free agency and be gone after the season. I said before the season they should go Drew Lock. The more talented guy, you'll get more mistakes, but more talented player. More talented player. Defense held Cleveland to 17. That normally gets you a win. They gave up a lot of running yards, but 17 points. 17 points. So it wouldn't surprise me if Shermer is fired any day now. But Fangio at 3-4 with 4 consecutive losses, and you still have to go against the AFC West, is on the hot seat. He is on the hot seat. So, yeah, I have my good points. See, I'm not that much on drugs. Trust me, Shermer's not getting fired. Would be more of a surprise. I'm thinking I could see that. I don't have the Broncos schedule up in front of me. Yeah, I could look it up. Yeah, he's on the hot seat. Fangio's on the hot seat, and you're going against the AFC West, man. You're going against the AFC West. I mean, all 3 of these teams in the AFC West can put up points. Denver can't. That's a problem. That is a problem, and it's a shame because there's so much talent. You remember at the beginning of the season, I said number 2 team in the AFC West is Denver. No, that's not the case. Is that the case? Could they get the season turned around? Absolutely. Not running the same offense. I think they should make the move with Locke. See what you get in Locke. What's the issue? Because his contract's up at the end of this year. If I'm correct, his contract's up at the end of this year. So, yeah. Watch Cleveland to get all the praise in the world for this win, but Arizona gets nothing for beating the living shit out of Cleveland, the Rams, and the Titans. Because you're a fan of the team, maybe you can't see it, but they're getting a lot of praise, man. They're getting a lot of praise. The issue that I would have is that, let's just say they go into the playoffs as a 1 seed and they're the only team that gets a bye. I still have Tampa Bay being the best team in the NFC. Nothing against Arizona. Of course, if they go 17-0, then wow. But I don't think too many people are really taking anything away from Arizona. I think there's a lot of praise. I mean, your quarterback's MVP. The defense is playing good. You have a very, very, very fun game against Houston this week. So. Welcome, man. The duo is in the chat, man. I'm gonna skip around here. Congratulations on the win. So hopefully you hooked up with a legal freshman. So, but man, I'm very, very, very happy for you. Destroyed Coastal Carolina's chance for any sort of a major bowl bid, and also destroyed the chance of I forgot the quarterback's name, of him being a Heisman candidate, which this year was legitimate. So big win. I don't know if they'll be ranked, but big win. One Pride 40, what is up, brother, man? I'm disappointed that your Spartans are not playing this week. but I am going to go out of my way to watch your Spartans play. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. Yeah, 17 to Keenum and RB number 3. Yeah. When I put the bet of 3.5, I actually thought Wills was out, and that's bad on me. But Wills did play. They had a backup on the right side. That running back played a good game, but still, I mean, in Cleveland, which has 2 really good running backs and a backup quarterback, that was a game Denver really needed to win. That's a game Denver really needed to win. And it could be the start of something where Denver makes many coaching changes. And Shermer has to go. I mean, this team has so much talent on offense, and they're just doing everything wrong. The one quarterback that has impressed me, and that's Coral. Is that the quarterback for Coastal Carolina? I'm going to tell you right now, the best quarterback I've seen. I haven't watched that much college football. The Miami Hurricanes quarterback, that's an NFL player. That's wow. The kid from Oklahoma is probably going to win the Heisman next year. He would probably be a Heisman candidate this year if he started earlier. That guy's amazing. I don't know who Coral is, though. Funk, what is up, brother? He says, what's up, good people? And then he also says, what's up with me? So, Funk, man, I'm so glad to see you, man. So glad. I cannot tell you how happy I am to be talking football with everybody here, man. It's also good to get a win. I took Denver and got 3.5. Thank God I didn't do the money line. Make Shula OC, give Dontel DC duties, start him. Let's go bonkers. Can't be any worse. I don't have a problem with your defense. I would leave your defense alone, but Shula taking over as offensive coordinator and starting Locke would make a lot of sense. I don't get why you don't do that. But let's just say Bridgewater's your guy. The only benefit with starting Bridgewater over Locke is that you want Bridgewater long-term. You want him for the next 10 years, which is feasible. I don't see it. If you start Locke, he's gone after the year, and you can go back to Bridgewater. But if you, after the season's over with Locke, you leave. You don't even get comp pick. You get nothing. It doesn't make any sense not to give Locke a chance at this point. McCall, that's his name. Yeah, Grayson McCall. Yeah, and I haven't watched him play. This is my chance to watch him play. So yeah. Oh, the Ole Miss quarterback. Yeah. Really? Okay. Corey says Arizona getting shit on a lot, man. Almost every station I see has at least 1 or 2 analysts trashing Arizona, saying they aren't legit and can't compete with the big teams. I mean, Tennessee is going to win the South. Cleveland, when healthy, looks like a definite playoff team. The Rams are good. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't do like a power rankings per se, but I mean, I still think in the NFC, I would still put Tampa Bay over Arizona, but it's close. It's close. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't. I never worry about power rankings and all that stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. You got a damn good team, man. And the number one thing is that as the season progresses, Murray's going to get more and more hype as MVP, and that's really awesome. That's really awesome. It will suck contract time. It will suck contract time because you may have to give him a $750 million. I'm not joking about that amount. He may cost you $750 million. Mahomes got 500. It wouldn't surprise me if you have to pay him $750. It wouldn't surprise me. Grayson McCall versus Chase Bryce. That was the matchup. Is Chase Bryce the apt quarterback? I didn't get a chance to watch it. I really wanted to watch that game, man. I wish I would have known. I wish you would have sent me a message. But man, congratulations. That's got to be awesome. Awesome feeling. Walker is something special next game. Oh, wow. Okay. please, 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 please remind me. I will DVR the game because I know Michigan plays. I think it's Northwestern. They should win. Michigan will probably stay at 6 unless there's some sort of an upset. And if so, they'll be in the top 5. This should be a primetime game. I will DVR it. I've been wanting to watch Walker all year. I don't know if he's a Heisman candidate, but I think he's leading the nation in rushing. So. Oh, the Ole Miss. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this guy's special. Having a couple losses, being blown up by Bama will hurt him. I heard. I didn't really buy it, but I saw something where he's a possible first-round pick, and I don't see that at all. But Lane Kiffin's getting a lot of talent. I saw something about the top 25 classes, and I think Ole Miss currently has like a number 10 class, number 10 class overall, and it's still early in the recruiting season. So one of these times I'll join the show, give you a better perspective on the Lions. All right. Mike hasn't joined the show yet. Maybe we won't make it, but the over-under was 5 and went from 5 to 4.5. Okay. You guys were saying 7, 8, 9, 10. We've been saying 3, and Mike was saying 3. I was saying 5. We have the right perspective on the Lions. You know, you guys, you last week you're like, Dan, we're going to beat the Bengals. And I'm like, you need Mixon to be hurt, and then you need some plays to go your way, but you're not a better team than the Bengals. Oh no. They're going to come in flat. We're going to beat them, get the first win. And we keep trying to tell you that you have a bad team. Your team is bad. But the future is bright because as of today, you would have the number 1 pick in the draft. Okay. You would have Thibodeau. And it looks like an elite pass rusher. All right. So you have an elite pass rusher. Plus, you get McCall, your 3rd-round pick, who I think is starting. Ozer Ike, hopefully I'm getting the name right. So you have like 3 stud young defensive linemen. That's how you build a team. All right. That's how you build a team. All right. The future's bright. You have a draft pick. You have in John Dorsey, a guy who excels at finding talent. But we've been trying to tell you that this year is going to be tough. You have a bad team. You have a very bad team. I mean, I was looking at 5 wins. Mike said 3. I thought at the time he was joking. He wasn't joking. So, I mean, I think you guys are the ones that don't have the right perspective. I think you guys really need to understand that you have a bad team, but the future's bright. 2022 is going to be a fun year for you guys. As soon as the season's over, two picks in the first round. You're going to get a comp pick for Galladay. It's probably going to be a 3rd-round pick. Good things are to come. This year's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. And just understand the future's bright. This year's going to be tough. I haven't watched App State play at all. Keep an eye on Cam Peoples. I don't know who that is, but yeah. Coral's probably the best quarterback in the draft. I don't know if he's going to come out because I want to say he's a redshirt sophomore or a junior. If I'm Coral, I actually want to come back to Ole Miss unless, well, you know, that's something that even though it's illegal to talk to your agent, you kind of want to talk to your agent and get a perspective, because if he is the best quarterback in the draft, he may want to come out. If that's the case, he would have to have a 1st-round grade. I don't think he does. Even if he does come out and he's the best quarterback, this may be a year where a quarterback doesn't go in the 1st round, which is rare. So I think he may stay in. I think the best quarterback in the draft is going to end up being Desmond Ridder, the University of Cincinnati's quarterback. And here's the deal. He's got NFL size. He has athleticism. He's won a ton of games. And he also doesn't have a lot of talent on that team. And right now, I think Cincinnati's ranked 3rd. They beat Notre Dame, a team. Hamilton's a top 5 pick on defense. So I mean, I kind of think that when the season ends, I'm not 100% sure. I can't vouch for this. I don't know this for a fact. Here's the thing. I think that when the season ends, I think his stock is just going to skyrocket. I think all this off the field stuff and his intangibles are really going to stand out. But I don't know that for a fact. And he reminds me of Jalen Hurts, where Hurts was a 5th round pick. Then at the combine, he changed a lot of his mechanics, kept on skyrocketing. Then on the whiteboard, he aced it. He aced everything. Every interview was first rate. So he went from a 5th round pick to a 2nd round pick. And I think Ritter, who I think would be a 2nd or 3rd round pick right now, will skyrocket and probably end up being the best pick. Coral, I don't even know if he wants to come out. No. I'm not talking about record either. You said perspective. I've been trying to say for months that this is going to be a bad year. You have a bad team. All right. Look, you had an MVP caliber quarterback. You have a quarterback in Stafford. Nobody thought that Goff was better than Stafford. All right. Nobody thought that. So you're going down in caliber of quarterback. Then there's more. You take away your top 3 receivers from the year before. Then there's more. You bring in a rookie defensive coordinator who came from the Saints with your head coach. Then there's more. You don't run the same defense that you ran successfully in New Orleans. Then there's more. You want to start rookies on a defense that doesn't have any talent. And with Stafford, you had a losing team. So you take away all these other things and you have an experienced head coach. You had to know going into the season that you're going to be bad. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but and I'm not saying you're going to go winless, but you have a bad team. I know you want to blame it on Goff, and I keep hearing, oh, it's Goff's fault. It's Goff's fault. It's not Goff's fault. It's not Goff's fault. Am I saying he's a great quarterback? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's not as good as Stafford, and you couldn't win with Stafford. And then you not only you decrease in quarterback, you decreased in team. So I'm going to skip some comments here. Really? Really? Oh, okay, fine. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought it was common sense. Now, I thought Goff was better than what he's shown so far, but I also thought he was handicapped because I thought Goff was legitimately like 15th best quarterback in the league. There's some good things about Goff, but I thought Stafford was top 10. So I'm like, okay, 32 teams, you drop in 5, which is an 8th. So it's like 12.5%. So you decrease your quarterback position by 13%, but you already have a bad team. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Funk. I didn't know that. I said the Lions had 4 wins on paper and a team or 2 would shit the bed. Yeah, you did. I don't think you're going to get this. Would be 6, and I don't think you're going to get there. Red Sea, exactly why I don't want a quarterback this year. Then throw all in the defensive talent. Doesn't make sense to me. Dan, the copy, yeah, that would make sense to me. You're missing my. Okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could take Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady, Mahomes, Kyler Murray, put them on the Lions, and they would be like at best 2-4, probably 1-5. But do believe, yeah, that okay. If the Lions pick number 1, they will 100% take Thibodeau. There's no doubt. And this is exciting because you got 2 really good players on that defensive line. And Ike, he sat out last year, I think has a ton of potential. McCall, I saw he got him in the 3rd round. I saw a lot of mock drafts towards the end of the season. I didn't have him in the 1st round, but I saw several mock drafts where he was a late 1st round pick. You got excellent value in the 2nd and 3rd round. So you put a guy. I think it's a Draft Network, and I could be wrong on this, that's comparing him to Myles Garrett or Chase Young. He's in that category. I don't think he's as good though. I don't think he's as good. The Lions ripped a Band-Aid. That was Stafford. Well, you have a Band-Aid here with Goff, and he's not the answer long-term, it doesn't look like. And that's okay because you get multiple first-round picks. I think Desmond Ritter's a guy that I really think Dan Campbell's going to fall in love with this kid. And here's the best part is that use your first-round pick, which currently is number one, probably be a top 5 pick. All right. You're going to take the best defensive player available. And right now, number one's Thibodeau. Probably number 2 is Hamilton. You could take Veal or I was just watching some YouTube stuff on him, and I'm amazed. I want to say Bryce Jones is the name of the Georgia defensive tackle who's listed at 330. He might actually get into the conversation of top 5. And if you're going to run a 3-4, this guy's the guy you want on your defensive line. So many good defensive players. So you can use that first pick on defense. Your second first round pick, which let's just call it 25. You're in luck because right now, because the Cardinals beat the Rams, they would be a wild card team. So you would get a higher first round pick. So let's just call it 25. Let's just call it 25 just for fun. Pick number 25, you can turn that into Desmond Ridder. All right. You could also get probably a starter on defense. So you have that's why the Lions are going to be such a fun team during draft time, because you really have no idea. And a guy like Dorsey and Brad Holmes, you have no idea. They could go from 25 to 12 to the second round to a extra first round pick in 2023. It's going to be a lot of fun. These people okay, Funk. I actually was going to make some notes, and I didn't have a chance. I watched the first 30 seconds, and I'll tell you why. When he said Goff was the equivalent of making Jamarcus Russell look like Aaron Rodgers, I just stopped. I don't need to watch anymore. I mean, I will say this. I did not know this, Funk. I did not know this. Okay. Golf's not your problem. All right. Golf's not your problem, but at his best, he's a trailer. You have the truck and you have the trailer. Golf at best is a trailer. You got to have everything around him good in order for it to work. I mean, you have a really good tight end. You have a good running back. Your offensive line's solid. Your best wide receiver might not even make the roster of about 8 to 10 NFL teams. Whoever your best receiver is, and Amon-Ra St. Brown wouldn't get cut. But I mean, it's just there's so many bad things in Detroit. But again, the foundation's very, very solid. And I'll keep saying it. Stafford put up fantastic numbers on a terrible. Yeah, and he did. Yeah, he's a great quarterback. With a great quarterback, they were still losing games. So why do you think an average or a good quarterback is going to improve your team? You know, it doesn't make any sense. It's true. I never thought Goff was better than Stafford, but I thought our staff was top 5. Okay. I like your coaching staff, but top 5? Aaron Glenn's never been a defensive coordinator before. Dan Campbell took over as an interim head coach 11 games. I like Anthony Lynn as your offensive coordinator, but I wouldn't call him even a top 10 offensive coordinator. So I'll be honest with you. I thought your staff was put together well, but I wouldn't even call it top 10. I mean, listen, again, the foundation's super, super solid. But no, you don't have you don't even have close to a top 5 staff. You have nothing proven. You know, I mean, when the Chiefs signed Andy Reid, that was a great hire. That's a guy you could call a top 5 coach. At the time I didn't, but now I would call him a top 5 coach. I'm trying to think here. The Cowboys, they called Mike McCarthy a top 5 coach. He's not. Cowboys fans think that, but he's not. But he has a lot more experience, and he's got a Super Bowl ring. So, yeah. Stafford gets drafted by any other team. He probably has a Super Bowl win, at least an appearance. Can't change my mind. I will say this. I remember watching him as a true freshman at Georgia. I watched him for like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, this is an NFL, this first-round pick. So, yeah, great player. No, man, no. We can talk about whatever you want. I think that you have a little too much homerism in you, man. And listen, man, I'm telling you right now, just wait. Just after the season's over, being a Lions fan is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk a lot of Lions in the draft. So, and that's very, 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 very smart. Very, very smart. He may have even won an MVP. What did you call McCall? Did I get his name wrong? 30 minutes in, I got the name wrong. Jordan Davis. Jordan, not really. Okay, he's not a guy who's going to get 9 or 10 sacks, but he can do a little more in the zero position. I think that his stock will keep going up. So, really good player though. Did I get some names wrong? I'm sorry, man. They might. Remember, Clemson had that defensive line, like all 4 guys went in the first round. Wait, you talking about Moop? You know what, Funk? I'll do that. I'll do that for you. Yeah, because once he called, like I was like, I can't listen to this guy. But yeah, okay, I'll do that for you. Talking about Stafford. One Pride. I'm sorry, man. I missed the comment here. So, Goff's not the only problem, but he is a problem. I think they brought him in to literally help get a bad pick. Holmes would know all the real issues McVay had. I'm just saying. Here's what I think, and I said the same thing at the beginning of the year. He's not as good as Stafford, but he has some good qualities. He's an accurate passer. I think he's a natural passer, but. I was really under the impression when you brought him in that Dorsey was going to bring in some more free agent receivers. I thought he was going to do a lot more in the receiving core than what he did. So I was under the impression you're going to get him more help, and I think he needs more help. But you're broad. Part of the reason you brought him in so you can get draft capital. That's 100% part of the deal. I mean, you brought him in to get draft capital. I mean, that makes sense. But you're hoping that he would turn into a good quarterback. I don't think you brought him in and said, okay, look, we're just going to flush this year down the toilet. I don't think he did that. To sit here and say that he's going to be the savior, well, you're hoping, but you weren't really banking on it. So what you got is your quarterback probably for next year. That's why if you draft a quarterback this year and you draft one high and groom him to be the starter in 2023, it works out. However, it looks like there's going to be more quarterbacks available in 2023. So, Dan, come on out. Is it because I'm on crack? Am I rambling too much here? Everyone's giggling a little bit, right? Pride, yeah, I shared one that I will watch it without the sound. When I said staff was, I said I was talking about Matt Stafford being a hub. Yes. Dorsey's been creative in the past, and I still think you could have done something, but you didn't, and that's okay. That's okay. You're just, it's going to be a long year. I get it. No NFL comes in the year one. No, and I don't think that was Lions' plan. But right now it hasn't worked out. But you're in luck because you're going to be a lot better in the future. It's going to be fun, man. All right, so this is a good chance to start with the picks. You know what? I'll start with your picks. I'll start with your first 3. Green Bay. Okay, I'm using my bookie, so my numbers are a little different. Green Bay -8. So, okay. So, by the way, he has Packers -10. Green Bay's hosting the Washington football team. So, he's got the Packers in points. Makes sense. They lost to Kansas City by 18 at home. So, going to Green Bay. This line actually was at 9.5. So, you got it early. It's dropped. People are actually putting money on the Washington football team. I wouldn't take 10. By the way, it's -10, but that's okay. We know what you said. I wouldn't take it myself, but I do like it. I do like it a lot. Indy is still at 4. They are going to San Francisco. I like Indy a lot. I actually think Indy will win that game. It kind of depends on. Already had another brain. Trent Williams. Trent Williams is banged up. He's in really bad shape. He may not start. That's the key. If he doesn't start and I can still get Indy +4, I'm going to take that bet. If he does start, I'm like, but I like Indy to win outright. So you get 4 points. That's smart. Very, very, very smart. Love it. Philly +3 in Vegas. Oh boy. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't touch that game. And the reason why is I think you have an unknown with the Raiders. The Raiders are a better team than Philly. They are a better team. But even though they're a better team, there's so much uncertainty with what's going on in organization. I mean, Gruden leaving and everything, but they looked really good against Denver. But I don't know how they'll do that week 2. I get what you're saying. So I get the logic behind it. I wouldn't do it. I would step back from that game, but I get why you did it, and you do get 3 points. So, and more than likely, the game will go from 3. More than likely, the game. Well, you know what? I really don't see the Raiders going to 3.5. So I get why you did the bet. I would leave that game alone. I'm going to read some comments, and then I'm going to go into more detail with the Falcons. But the quarterback will come in 2023. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but I really think that the way you guys are talking about golf, and you guys are the experts. So I think what you'll do is you want to have him gone in 2 years, and you have to eat the contract. So you're going to keep him on the team for 2022. But I think that you really want to groom him. So that's kind of why I could see you guys taking a quarterback late in the first round who may have second round talent and say, hey, this is going to be our guy. Then if your team falls apart, you can draft a quarterback in round 1. Could you draft quarterbacks in round 1 in 2022 and 2023? Yes. It would be very unusual. But if you don't draft a quarterback in 2022, a lot of guys may not come back for 2023. So I really think that the Cincinnati quarterback is going to be a guy Campbell's going to fall in love with. I really could see that happening. And bottom line, you could get Thibodeau and your quarterback in the future. That makes sense. James, welcome, brother. You don't buy into Malik Willis. I don't know enough about him. I haven't had a chance to watch him play. I've seen some highlights. When schools release height, weight comps, it's really hard to say. I've heard 6'1", 220. He could be 5'11", 210. He could be 6 foot, 210. I don't know enough about him, but here's the deal. The combine is going to be really big because if he comes into the combine and he looks good, he could skyrocket up. Malik Willis could be a 3rd round pick. He could be the number 1 pick in the draft. I don't know yet. I haven't watched him play, but more importantly than his play, I want to see how he looks at the combine. And you're going to be like, Dan, you're putting more emphasis on the underwear Olympics than you are on the field. The answer is yes. And the reason why is that at Liberty, what's he going to do? I mean, he's not playing SEC caliber competition. Now, when the season's over, I want to see how he does at the Senior Bowl. I want to see how he does like an East-West Shrine game. Do players gravitate towards him? Does he can he read defenses? There's so much I want to see. So much I want to see. All right. Amazement. I didn't forget about Atlanta. I promise you I didn't forget about Atlanta. Slasher, what's up, brother, man? What's up, Dan? Eagles got to get this win tomorrow. What do you mean Sunday? But that's okay. I get what you're saying. As a Chiefs fan, I would love nothing more. Gambling-wise, I wouldn't touch that game. I wouldn't touch that game. And the reason why I wouldn't touch it is I think the Raiders are too much of an unknown. You're playing in Vegas. They're battling for a playoff spot, which is a lot of fun. So Thibodeau in the first, Jordan Battle at the second. That would actually be really good. There's a lot of good players, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Lions said, hey, we're going to go all defense. But that second first-round pick, now keep in mind, between now and the end of the season, the Lions are going to win some games. So the question is, we all know that take Thibodeau at pick number 1. What do you do if they're pick number 6 or pick number 4 when a Thibodeau and Hamilton's off? And I mean, we got a lot of football left. I'm not saying you guys are going 0-17. I'm not saying you guys are the worst team in football. So, I mean, but we got a lot of time to talk draft stuff. We're going to do a lot of draft stuff, and the Lions are going to be a fun team to talk about during the draft. Got some love here. But if we pick 2 or 3, I 100% agree with you, One Pride. I think Thibodeau's pick number 1. I think Hamilton's pick number 2. You're not going to take the left tackle out of Alabama. I can't think of his name. People right now, I keep hearing hype on this kid. Like, people are thinking this is an elite Hall of Fame caliber left tackle. Like, I'm hearing this may be the best left tackle to come out of Bama since Andre Smith, who kind of flopped in the pros, but was the number 6 pick overall. I think it was the Draft Network has him as like number 4 and number 5 prospect. And if that's the case, and if he's available, you may be able to trade down and get a bunch of picks. You guys are going to, as soon as the season's over, you guys are in for a lot of fun. It's going to be great. Battle, but N'Kobe Dean's available. That's the guy I want. And we're going to talk a lot about draft stuff. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. I took the Lions 17-2 and Bucks minus 12. Bucks are a running team. We dominate against run. Bears, the line stinks and can't pass. Okay. Let's talk about both those games. I'm going to go out of order, but let's bring those up. Okay, I'm sorry. I got 16, but 16, 17, different books are going to have different numbers. You took the Rams in 17. Okay, I'm going to give you the good and the bad. I'll give you the good and the bad. Rams are at home. Stafford going against his old team. They have more talent. I mean, no brainer. Lions, however, I'm going to give you the bad. The Lions are playing tough. Yeah, I know they got blown out by the Bengals, but and the Rams are better than the Bengals, but you have a team that plays hard. I would actually take the over on this game because the Lions they keep on scoring touchdowns late. They get down and they say, screw it. We're not going to give up. And that's one thing I love about the Lions. So 16, I got 16 on my bookie. You got 17. I get it. I'm pulling for you, but I wouldn't have taken that. I would have taken over, which is 50.5. Even though the Rams have a good defense, the Lions are going to get some touchdowns late. So I like the over in the game. That's a tough one. I thought about this one too. You got Bucks minus 12 against the Bears. Remember last year, the Bears beat Tampa on a Thursday night. Excuse me. The Bears have a good defense too. And the more and more Fields plays, the more and more he's going to get comfortable. And with that pass rush, is he going to scramble around? 12 is such a big number. But you're right. They do dominate against the run, but they are banged up a little bit. I do like the fact that their O-line stinks. As far as passing the ball, they may be a little better than you think. I don't like taking double-digit teams, but you took this on a parlay. So hopefully you didn't bet a lot. I get why you took them. I wouldn't have done it myself. Of course, I'm gonna pull for you. That Chicago Tampa Bay, I'd be a little worried about. I mean, Tampa Bay's obviously going to win. They're at home, but 12's a big number, man. 12's such a big number. All right. Homeland's got the Chiefs over the Titans. He's got the Ravens. He's not doing points. He's just picking winners. The Ravens. Okay, Ravens over the Bengals. The Falcons. We're going to talk a little bit about that Falcons game. Raiders, Bucks, Colts, Packers, Pats. He's got all the favorites, basically. Every team that's favored, the Homeland's got all the favorites this week. All right, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Every favorite team Homeland has. I know Funk. I'm telling you this right now. More than likely, the Chiefs are not going to be able to sign the Honey Badger, and I think he will be a Detroit Lion next year. And I think you guys are going to pay him a Brinks truck full of money. You're going to give him a lot of money. I played 2 parlays this week. I was feeling good about the spreads this week. Hey, man, I don't do parlays, but I'm definitely going to pull for you, man. I'm going to pull for you, and I'm going to touch base a little bit on a couple more of these games here in a minute. I want to get caught up on the comments. So Malik Willis probably goes to Washington or Denver. I really want to see what he does in the draft. I'm say draft. I want to see what he does in after the season. He's got to be able to produce. He's got to do good at the combine. He's got to ace the combine because both these teams may go in a different direction. He could be number 1. I'm telling you right now, I think Desmond Ridder is just going to skyrocket after the season. After the season's over, I think he's going to do well in the interviews. I think there's a lot of good things. The Giants, I don't think are going to be sold on Daniel Jones. And the Giants, I think, are going to be looking for a new coach too. So that's going to be interesting. You have to understand about these teams is who's going to keep the coach. Right now, I would say Judge is on the hot seat. I think Fangio is on the hot seat. It's kind of cooled off in Chicago and Minnesota, but those are two coaches that could be gone. Trying to think off the top of my head. I think Urban Meyer getting a win saves them. Brian Flores has got to get things turned around in Miami fast. They can't go 1-16, but that team just looks like it's self-destructing. So I think, believe it or not, before the season, I thought Miami was a dark horse to go to the Super Bowl. Now they got 1 win, and that's ridiculous. So, I mean, we got several coaches on the hot seat. So you have to look at who's going to come in. Here's another thing. Does Aaron Rodgers go to one of these teams? I bet Malik can read. Isaiah Lyons going to wide. Oh, absolutely. I think there's some good wideouts in the draft. And I'm behind on comments. So I'm going to get caught up. And then I got several games I want to talk about. Is Leo the defensive tackle out of A&M, or is he the offensive tackle for Alabama? But defense. Here's what's great about this draft is you guys need help on defense. You got a ton of studs on defense. So they will, but not super early. Talking about Malik Willis, this draft's starting to look real deep at safety, like a kid like Sine will be there at the beginning of we're going to talk a ton of draft stuff, man. Neil, the tackle could be options if the Lions move Decker before the draft. Now, see, I don't think so, because if you move Decker, your plan is to play Sewell on the left side, and it's much easier to replace the right tackle. You're not going to use a first-round pick on a right tackle. I can guarantee you that. What you'd want to do is use maybe get a right tackle in the 3rd round. You may even trade a player. You never know. But I would be shocked if you move Decker and then draft a high draft pick. When I say high, 1st or 2nd round pick on the right tackle. You may even try to pick a 3rd or a 4th round pick and try to get somebody on that right side. I would be shocked if they used a high draft pick on a right tackle. Now, if you want to move Sewell back to the right and use a 1st round pick on the left, that would be a lot of fun. I would love it, but I would be shocked if the Lions went high draft picks on tackles in back-to-back drafts. I would be shocked if they did that. I'm not saying it'd be a bad thing. I'm just saying I'd be shocked if they did that. Yeah, you either need to draft one or sign the first one available in the offseason. And I'm telling you right now, I think the Honey Badger is going to be a Detroit Lion. I'm telling you this right now, and they're going to back up the Brinks truck. Jamal Adams set a record 4-year, $70 million contract. I think it'll be 5-year, like 90. It could even be $100 million. You're going to break the bank for Honey Badger. I'm telling you this right now. That's what I'm saying. Maybe both. We got time. Yeah, you never know, man. Amazement the Lions are going to screw you because the Rams will be up big and do what San Francisco did, put the backups on. The Lions will end up covering. I kind of could see that, to be perfectly honest with you, because the Rams, if they have the game locked up, they'll pull some players. That's why I hate these big spreads. But the reason why I could see this happening, and that's kind of why I like the over, even though it's a high number. What was the number? 50.5, which is high, but that's kind of the reason why I could see that happening. That's kind of why I like the over in that game. How would you like to be Jared Goff and go back to LA winless? The one thing I'll take away is that Goff's made over $200 million. Now keep in mind, most of that goes to taxes. But I mean, even if he keeps $75 million, yeah, life's not too hard as Jared Goff. But yeah, it's not a good thing. MSU coach got a job at LSU, dude. Oh wow. Oh God. I did not know that. God, you're gonna hate me, man. Yes, you have to. And the reason why is that he was the offensive coordinator at Georgia. He's bringing a bunch of SEC talent up north, so he's got pipeline into SEC talent. And man, don't hate me, man. Don't hate me, but LSU's a better job. It's just a better job. Nick Saban did it. I mean, the answer is yes. If that's true, and you're a guy from SEC country, you're gonna take it. Now, personally, I'd love for him to stay there and build Michigan State into a national power. That would be fun. It would be a lot of fun. Because, Michigan's playing good, Ohio State's playing good, Penn State's playing good. It would be fun to have the Big Ten be like the second best football conference in football, but I don't see you turning down the LSU job if you're from SEC country and you're recruiting SEC players. I don't see how you turn down the LSU job. Doesn't make any sense. Dude, I'm sorry. I can feel the hatred coming through here. I hope not either, man. I mean, yeah, I'm not predicting this, but the Lions will break the internet. I would love it if the Lions won, man. I don't want to sound like I'm hating the Lions, man, but yeah, I'm pulling for them. I want MSU to be University of Michigan. Yeah, hopefully. All right, I am behind on comments. I'm going to get caught up, and I'm going to go over some of these games. Yeah, exactly. I see Marcus Williams more than the Badger. Yeah, I mean, I just have a feeling when you talk about a knee biter, that's the Honey Badger. That's a guy that I just think that's a guy Dan Campbell loves. So, Music City guy, what's up, Dan? Big game this weekend. Yes. I haven't even talked about it yet. Maybe Funk, but I think the Rams will be up so much it'll matter. If Lions are at home, then I'm taking the points because they're feisty at home, not on the road. We'll have to see about this one. Didn't he throw like 5 picks in 3 games? Golf? I'm not sure. No. We have not talked Chiefs and Titans yet. You're scared, aren't you? We'll talk about it. Okay, yeah. That guy's a stud. Okay. Biggest preseason letdown, teams high on disciplinary most, Miami, Washington, others. Miami's number 1, Washington football team. The Giants for me, because the Giants were my dark horse to win the East. Kansas City as of right now, but their schedule is after this game gets really easy. So Kansas City's 1. trying to think who else off the top of my head. I think all of them. Miami's number one. I thought they were a dark horse Super Bowl team. So we're going to talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Slasher. I'm really, 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 really glad you brought that up. So you're the Browns GM. Would you move on from Baker and trade OBJ? Tough division from Lamar and Burrow and need an upgraded quarterback. Okay. The Baker Mayfield is the tough one because you offered him a 3-year, $93 million extension, which he smartly turned down. Okay. You put 17 up with Keenum. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Case Keenum and whoever the head coach is of Cleveland, his name just escaped me. They've been together before for like 5 years, so they know each other really well. Case Keenum would not be that big of a downgrade, but it's really hard to come in just off of 1 or 2 days when you haven't played in a couple of years. And that would not be the starting quarterback. If I am the Browns GM and I can't get Baker for under $40 million a year, which is still overpaying him, then yes, I move on. I actually not only move on from OBJ, I move on from Jarvis Landry. I keep Kareem Hunt and I just get young talent at wide receiver. And I keep Malik McDowell, who signed a 1-year deal. He's playing lights out. He was expected to barely make the team. Not only is he starting, he's playing phenomenal. So that's what I would do. But what I think they'll do is try to keep Baker. I actually think they can move on from OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Donovan Peoples-Jones has all the ability in the world. He's starting to play well. They have some really good tight ends, and there's always good wide receivers coming out in the draft. You're building off the run, so you really don't need those elite wide receivers. I mean, OBJ really hasn't done much in Cleveland, so yeah. The problem is with moving OBJ is that you're not going to get much for him. You have to trade him. To tell you the truth, if I'm Cleveland, I try to make a move for OBJ going to New England. I think that'd be a perfect trade. Under 30, I think. Under 30. The Blitz predicts, yes. Talk about the Bengals. And you know what? I was actually going to bring this up. It's the first game. I wanted to get caught up on my comments. And I'm going to give you credit because I watched your video. I like your video. I'm going to talk about it. And I didn't put a link. I would like it very much if all my social media is below, and I'll look on your page. I'm going to see if I can get you to come on. I didn't know you did a sports betting, but if you bet on this game, yeah. So let me get through some comments, and this is the first game I'm going to talk about in some detail. And your video is great, by the way. I really liked it. So okay, just side note. Sorry about the rant. You didn't even mention anything about Staley being out, starting left tackle for the Ravens. So Thibodeau, Alam, Levi, Romeo. Yeah, there were some. Yeah, exactly. You a lot of fun things. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, the Blitz predicted a video on Cincinnati and Baltimore. He put some action on it, and I'm going to talk about it. I would not like it if they broke the bank for a Honey Badger. I'd rather break the bank for Hutchinson. I get that. I really think, well, number one, Honey Badger is going to be a free agent. Number two, he fits a lot of different needs for the Lions. And I just got a feeling that he's a player who's infectious and he'll bring a lot of players. So I think you guys are really going to love him. And I think he'll be in Detroit. I think it's going to happen. He's one of my favorite players. I want him to stay in Kansas City. It's just, I don't see it. Washington football team shouldn't pick a mascot. The initials WFT. That's pretty funny. Our linebackers would be Barnes and someone in the draft. You have some free agent money too, man. LSU, best job. You pick a Louisiana talent in Houston somewhat. Well, he's bringing in talent from Georgia and Florida up to Michigan State. So he has a pipeline drilled into that Georgia, Florida talent. So that if you're bringing in that talent, then you get Louisiana and East Texas. Yeah, you're Yeah, it's too easy. Good point. Is he in his 30s? All right. MSU gave Tucker an ass load of money. What's an ass load? What's an ass load? LSU is going to pay him about $10 million a year. I think if Tucker takes it and fails, it ruins him forever. If he stays and turns Michigan State into an elite school for a few years, he'll be able to mess up once or twice. Actually, I don't think so, because if he messes up at LSU, he can still get a Power 5 job. Because messing up at LSU, that's not really the end of the world, because you're playing in the SEC where you're going against the best of the best. That's kind of the reason why you want to take the job, is because the SEC is the best. It's SEC and everybody else. It's SEC and everybody else. And that's kind of why you have to take the job. Plus, he's getting 4-state players from the South to come all the way up to Michigan State. That means he's got something going on. I mean, he's got something really, really good going on down there. So that's kind of why you have to take the LSU job. I'm with you. I would love for him to stay there. I just don't see he wouldn't. I personally wouldn't move on from Baker. The problem is Baker's already turned down over $30 million. So he wants 40 to 50 million. All right. If Cleveland gives him that 5-year, $250 million deal that he wants, you cripple your team for a quarterback who's above average at best. I mean, you're not getting Kyler Murray. You're not getting Patrick Mahomes. You're not getting Josh Allen. You're getting a guy who's on a clear tier below, but he wants to be paid like a top 5 quarterback. That's the problem. And that's why I move on from him, because I want to pay Kareem Hunt. I want to pay everybody on that defense, because what do you do when Clowney leaves after the year? Do you try to make him stay? Because if you make him stay, then you can't pay Baker. All right. The problem is that you if you convince Baker to take I don't know, 4 years, $125 million, 100% stay. Baker wants to get paid like an elite superstar. Now, I don't blame him. If I'm Baker Mayfield, I want to get $50 million a year. That's why you move on from Baker, because you can't pay him the big time money and keep your team intact. He's the best 13th quarterback in football? 12th, 10th, maybe? That's why you got to move on. You pay him $50 million a year, you screw your team. That's why you got to move on. I would too. I actually expect him to be in New England. Okay. One Pride 40 is playing on Liberty, has no one to throw to. It's actually a draft prospect. Half of them are on his receivers. That's why I want to watch him play at the Senior Bowl and see what he can do. He's holding that team back because how many touches he wants. Yeah, I think in New England, if he was willing to play ball with Belichick, that could be a lot of fun. If I was a Brand fan and we let Landry walk, I'd be upset. Best number 2 wide receiver you can have. True, but he's a lot of money, and he is a number 2. And what's more important, the running backs that they got, or is it the receivers? So, anyone know the QB from Tennessee is college on pro. I watched him make a few throws, but I don't know who he is either. So, yeah. Our whole defense could change in one draft and home straight. Absolutely. No, I 100% agree with you, One Pride. That's why like I said, the big question is, what do you do with that second pick? Do you go with Ritter? I'm using Ritter because I like him. Or do you go with that defense? Because, I mean, you build some draft. Okay, you add 2 or 3 players from the draft. You add a couple players in free agency, and this defense all of a sudden is awesome. So, yeah. Hendon Hooker since all right. Oh, I definitely want to talk about this game. Okay, I definitely want to talk about this game. See, I disagree, because you can always draft receivers. There's several receivers that are going to be available that you can draft. That's the one. Music City, yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. 5 point. It's not nothing. He will make significantly more at LSU. He'll make 7 or 8. That's why. And you're right. 5.5 is not nothing, but yeah, it's not. I'll tell you right now, it's not what Harbaugh's making. So really, well, okay. All right. So for those of you that don't know, the Blitz predicts. I'm going to try to get him on the show as a guest here one of these days. And what he did is he had a video that came out, and he had a video that came out that he did today, and I really liked it. He actually put some action on this game. I didn't even know he did sports betting, so I was a little surprised because I know he did some videos, he does predictions, he does some talking, and I just found him not too long ago. He subscribed to my channel today. He's in the comments. So he did a video talking about Cincinnati and Baltimore, and I didn't have enough time to put the link in the description, but hopefully he comes on. We can work something out. Baltimore is a 6.5-point favorite. Cincinnati is coming to Baltimore. And the Blitz predicts has action on Cincinnati covering 6.5. So he didn't touch about the left tackle for Baltimore being out for the year. Now, last year what Baltimore did is they took Orlando Brown, moved him from the right side to the left side, and became a Pro Bowl left tackle. Easy peasy. Well, guess what? Orlando Brown's now on the Kansas City Chiefs. So how they're going to move that around, I'm not really sure. Cincinnati has a very, very good defense and has played pretty well against some teams, specifically against Green Bay. Now they were at home. I didn't have a chance to check out the weather report, but 46 is a pretty low number. All right. So 46 is a pretty low number. I'll be honest with you, the Blitz predicts. 6.5 is a great number for a team that's playing some really damn good football, and Cincinnati is playing some damn good football. And Cincinnati's been able to win in Baltimore in the past. If you get a chance, watch the video. I should put a link to it, but I didn't have time. I would not take this bet. I actually think Baltimore wins this game. They're at home. And Cincinnati's defense has played well, but they've not played well against a team like Baltimore, which really, even with the loss to Staley on the left side, they have big physical running backs. Le'Veon Bell, even though he doesn't really play like, he's still a 230-pound running back. The other running back they picked up off the streets, another 230-pound running back. Lamar Jackson is now the big play threat. Now, Watkins being out is key. If Watkins is out, you take away a legitimate threat. The Bengals defense is young, but it's untested. 6.5 is a huge number for a team that's playing like a playoff team going to Baltimore. 6.5 is a good number. He put action on it. I would avoid it because I still think Baltimore's a much better team. They're much more experienced, and they're at home. This is going to be a fun game, though. It's one I'm putting, and the Blitz Predicts has action. By the way, though, the Blitz Predicts did a video about the Bills over the Chiefs. I disagreed with him. I was dead wrong. So he won that. Hopefully he won a bet on that. So the Blitz Predicts had a great video, brought up some excellent points, brought up how good Cincinnati's defense is, but Baltimore's just such a different type of beast. I don't know if Cincinnati's much better than the Chargers. And Baltimore just blew them out. So that's kind of why I'm passing on that game, but I get why you took 6.5. A playoff team, division game, 6.5 is a big number. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. And as a Chiefs fan, I'd like to see Cincinnati knock Baltimore down, but also I want to get us together. We need to get together. And if you're doing sports betting, I'm going to be pulling for you. So. Next game is Carolina at the New York Giants. Carolina Panthers are a 3-point favorite. Over-under is extremely low, 42.5. I really think that Joe Judge is on the hot seat big time. They are in desperate need of a win. Now, remember, they started last year at 0-5, and they were able to turn it around. They got to turn it around this week. I don't think they do. I think Carolina is a team that's getting ready to start ramping up. They had this really good drive. Sam Darnold, I think they're going to plan on just trying to run the ball a little more. So I think this is a game that Carolina gets it done. They're a 3-point favorite on the road. I have a hard time because I was so high on New York before, but I do like Carolina to cover this game. We talked about Green Bay in Washington. Oh, I almost forgot. I see safety line. Yeah, I can see that. 5.5. He'll make more than that at LSU. LSU will overpay. So before I go any further, let's talk about a big one. We're going to talk about my Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to try not to have the Homer hat on. I was going to put some of the comments here. Yeah. Where is it? I was going to put some of these comments here. All right. Well, I guess no comments. I'm going to put my email here. My Kansas City Chiefs are traveling to Tennessee. The over-under has been skyrocketing and is now a big-time 57.5. Prop bets are available in this game. Some giant. For those of you that don't know, by the way, I'm going to give you a little 101 when it comes to prop betting. If you like the over, you want to take the over early. If you like the under, you want to wait till game day and get under the highest possible number, because there are some crazy, insane prop bets on here. And because I've been talking for a while, it hasn't come up yet, but I'm going to give you some prop bets here on this Tennessee game. And fantastic. I said I'm going to do it, and I am. Okay, hold on. All right, and I'm doing a bad job here. My apologies. If I can't get the player prop bets to come up here in just a few seconds, then I'm just going to move on. But these numbers are insane. These numbers are just completely insane. All right. My apology. I cannot get the player prop bets to show up. I was looking at them last night, and they were just insane. For Tennessee, and the over-under for Derrick Henry was 129.5. He's been hitting that number, and Kansas City's run defense is garbage. That still is one of the highest numbers I've never seen a number that high. Patrick Mahomes over under passing yards was, I think it was 342. 342. No, it's very rare to see an over under go 3, but 342. I'm halfway tempted to take the under on Mahomes, and I'm halfway tempted to take the under on Derrick Henry. I'm not going to do any player prop bets because I've not been hitting them, but these numbers are insane. So just so you know, if you are going to do any prop betting and you're going to bet on the over, you want to do it early. If you want to do it under, you want to do it right before kickoff. I am halfway tempted to take the under on Mahomes and the under on Derrick Henry's rushing yards, but I might take the under on 57.5, but both these teams have put up big numbers in the past. The AFC Championship game a few years ago, relatively low scoring, 35-24, which is 59. So weather's perfect. Kansas City's a 4.5-point favorite. All right, Kansas City's a 4.5-point favorite. I'm not going to bet on this game. A lot of homerism in me, but Tennessee beat Buffalo on Monday night in a war. Kansas City had a cakewalk against a beat-up Washington football team, but they're still getting a lot of criticism. Frank Clark and Chris Jones are going to play together on the defensive line for the first time all season. I like Kansas City to win. I'm not going to cover 4.5. I hate that number. It actually at one time was 6, so action's been going on Tennessee. I'm anxious to see how high the over-under gets. I'm not going to bet on it, but I mean, I would recommend the under. I would recommend the under on Mahomes passing yards, even though a couple of years ago when Tennessee lost in the AFC Championship game, they won in the regular season. The game after Mahomes came back, he threw for 430 something in a loss. I think Kansas City wins this game. I think Tennessee kind of comes back down to earth. Keep in mind, if Tennessee loses this game, it's no big deal. They're going to win the South unless the Colts just go on a ramp. I mean, unless the Colts just blow up. And I actually do like the Colts to win in San Francisco, depending on the Trent Williams injury. Because if he plays and he's 100%, then, keep in mind, injured left tackle, injured quarterback. So I like Kansas City to win this game. A lot of homerism. But Tennessee's banged up, man. And this is not the team where you want to have banged up corners. So, do you really believe we'll have the number one pick? No, I do not. No, I do not, One Pride. I do not believe the Lions will have the number one pick. No, I don't. So, I definitely don't think you guys have the number one pick. But if you do, you're taking Thibodeau. And if you have number two, and Thibodeau goes one, then you're going to take Hamilton. And if you don't take Hamilton, if you're going to run the 3-4, which if you're telling me to run more of a 4-3, so I'd probably take Veal, the defensive tackle. How high you guys have Stingley, the LSU corner, that's another situation completely too. But I'd have a hard time believing now if you want to move Okuda to safety, which I keep hearing from you guys, but I don't think that would happen. Keep in mind, you could also, let's say you pick 5th or 6th, you could trade down and have so much fun. So Titans run all over you guys. Defense is bad. Yes, but Chris Jones and Frank Clark are going to be together on the defensive line for the first time all season. And the Chiefs are going to score. This is going to be a fun game. The winner between Titans and the Chiefs, I think, will be the third best team in the AFC. And Titans fans, if you think I'm insulting your team, yes, I know you beat Buffalo. I still have Buffalo as the number 2 team. Right now at AFC, I have Baltimore number 1, even with all the injuries. I want to see how they handle the Staley injury, but they handled it really well last year. So they have a tough game against Cincinnati. All right, they have a tough game, so let's see how they look. But if they beat Cincinnati, they stay as my number 1. Buffalo's still my number 2. Right now, Tennessee's number 3, but they got to beat Kansas City. They haven't been able to do it in the past. Now, they did a couple of years ago when Mahomes came in off of an injury, but Frank Clark and Chris Jones healthy, oh boy. And you guys said it yourself, so yeah. I was tempted to, I was going to take Derrick Henry over on the rushing yards. I was going to do it. But the number was 129.5. I've never seen the number so high. Never seen the number so high. That's a huge number. That's a huge number. And let's just say, because your secondary's hurt, Kansas City gets up 21-3. Well, then you're gonna put in was it McNichols? The kid from Appalachian State. So that's the difference. Now, if Kansas City gets down 21-3, well, of course, they're just going to do what they always do. They're just going to keep throwing the ball. They're going to dink and dunk down the field. Titans are going to put 2 safeties in the parking lot and try to put some pressure on Kelsey, try to double team or chip or do something. Try to put an extra guy on Tyreek Hill. You see a bunch of different formations. Harold Landry, a player I absolutely love. He needs that big game. But I don't see it. I just don't see it. I would love to take Derrick Henry on the over. I can't do 129.5. I just can't do it. So you think the Packers are in trouble in the future? In the future, yeah. But this year, I love what they did. I mean, getting Jalen Smith off of waivers, getting Whitney Merciless off of waivers, smart moves. Whether they're in the plans long-term or not, they should be. I don't know if they will be, especially Jalen Smith, because he's a guy I thought was playing some really damn good football. So I forgot Aiden Hutchinson. Our pick will, seriously, it may not be. It really might not be. I mean, you gotta look at it this way. I mean, Miami is falling apart. The Giants are falling apart. The Jets are still a terrible team. Atlanta, you know what? Perfect segue. Perfect segue. The Atlanta Falcons go to Miami. The Atlanta Falcons are a 2.5-point favorite. Some people got 2. I put action on Atlanta to cover 2.5. And by the way, Pete and Mike aren't in. I stole this from Pete. Pete went ahead and brought it up Wednesday. Then I started looking at it a little more. Dante Fowler is out. So you can get a better number. I got -115 right now. My bookie has -105. Fowler was questionable. He's out. But Calvin Ridley is in. Miami is either going to be without their top 2 corners or they're going to come in banged up. Miami is coming all the way back from London without a bye. Atlanta's fresh off of a bye. I love Atlanta in this game, and I put action down. I got Atlanta to cover 2.5 on the road. So that is a game I really like. And I suggest you take it too, because I think Miami's completely fallen apart. Atlanta's looking like a team that's starting to get some ground. Prop bet wise, Matt Ryan over on passing yards. I want to say it was 274. I was really tempted to take Matt Ryan and the over on the passing yards. The reason why I didn't do it is because if they get up big, then they may just put the foot off the brake. I was really tempted to do it. I do like Matt Ryan over on the passing yards, by the way. Calvin Ridley's going to be healthy. Kyle Pitts had a 100-yard game last week. And Miami secondary's banged up, so I could see that. And by the way, if this is a close game, I could see Matt Ryan just saying, okay, let's just keep throwing the ball, keep moving the ball. I could also see Atlanta getting up big and then, hey, let's run the ball, run the clock out. And so I'm going to pass putting bets on that Matt Ryan prop, but I do like it. So I do like it quite a bit. New York Jets, 7-point dog going into New England. New England played Dallas really, really good. I'm really curious how they bounce back, but I think they're going to bounce back just fine. The over-under is 42.5. You may want to take the under on this one, even though that number is extremely low. I actually like the Patriots to cover 7, but I'm not going to take a line on that yet. But this should be a bounce-back game for the Patriots. Lions, Rams, we talked about. Eagles, Raiders, we talked about. Bucks, Bears, we talked about. Arizona is an 18-point favorite at home against Houston. Watts and Hopkins get to play against their old team. Mills is a rookie quarterback. He's going against one of the best teams in football, if not the best team in football. I have a hard time believing. The over-under is 47.5. I actually like the over because I can see Houston sooner or later picking up some cheap touchdowns. But, 18 is just such a big number, man. I'm going to pass on this game completely, but it wouldn't surprise me if Arizona covered. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Even if KC get up, they will still run. Their offense built around running. Not always. If they get down, one thing I've noticed about Tennessee is that when they get down, McNichols plays a lot more. And I'm not talking down by a touchdown. I'm talking like if they're down like 21-3, then they'll go ahead and try to just abandon the run. But if they're within, 10 to 14 points, then absolutely. The one thing you got to realize is that Mahomes is having a bad year, and he's leading the NFL in touchdown passes and yards. Chris Jones is the Chiefs' best defensive player. And I talked about the Honey Badger and how much I love him. He's been out the last couple games. All right. They held Washington, not a good team, to 13 points without their best defensive player, and that was Frank Clark's first game back. Now you get Frank Clark and Chris Jones together for the first time all year, and Chris Jones is rested and healthy. It's 300-pound defensive end. So, I mean, I really, by the way, it feels like 100, maybe even 109. I'm taking Derrick Henry on the over. But if they're down 21-3, no, they're gonna try to throw the ball. This is gonna be a fun game. The winner becomes the AFC's number 3 team, in my opinion. And I know it sounds insulting to say, hey, we beat Buffalo and you still have Buffalo ranked higher. The answer is yes. And no disrespect. I just, if it comes playoff time, I like the Bills over the Titans. And the reason why is that Derrick Henry in the playoffs after 400 touches, I don't know if he's the same guy. So that's kind of the way I look at it. But hey, if the Titans beat the Chiefs, man, I'm in a lot of trouble. And the Titans are instantly the number 3, maybe number 2 or number 1 team in the AFC. Win or lose, Titans win that division. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. The negative is, it just for as a stats fun thing, is that if the Titans wrap up the division and they're like a 3 or 4 seed, they probably sit Derrick Henry for week number 16 and 17. Derrick Henry could sit for a couple weeks, which would destroy his chance for 2,000. So, oh, dude, we're gonna do a lot of draft stuff. I do like Atlanta. I just need them to cover 2.5. Good thing I picked up. Yes, that's a very good thing. I think he's gonna have a good game. Pitts had 100 yards last week. He's still being integrated into the offense. I mean, you have to realize this is a young kid, really in a positionless position. So they're I was expecting a little bit of growing pains. Had 100 yards last week. He'll have some really good games. This could be a big one. I thought Chris Jones. Okay, the Chiefs this year took Chris Jones and they're putting him at defensive end on first and second down. Then, on third and long, they've been moving him into defensive tackle. But they moved him from tackle to end this year. A lot of Chiefs fans aren't really happy about it because it didn't fix the interior of the defensive line. So, yeah. This year he's the defensive end. And but it'll be interesting because him and Frank Clark on the outside is going to be very, very interesting. First time we've seen it all year. And this is kind of what we're hoping will work because they're kind of rotating some defensive tackles in there. We got 2 guys that were basically zero techniques. And then we have Jaron Reed, who we signed on a 1-year deal so we can move Chris Jones to the outside. But Chris Jones is playing defensive end this year for the Chiefs. 6'6" through 300. Yeah, he's playing defensive end. It's weird. He's playing defensive end. But yes, he's a DT, but he's playing defensive end this year. So Miami is a disaster. No run game, banged up secondary. Falcons should win outright by at least 3. I hope so. I got action on it. 18, yes, 18 is playing. Ridley is playing. In the NFL is too high to touch. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant 18. Yeah, I can't touch 18. I can't touch 18. Speaking, Jones are going to not this game. No, this game he's going to be on the outside, and because this is the whole plan what Kansas City's wanting to do. Jones is on the outside, and Clark is on the outside, and so you can rotate a couple of defensive tackles. Excuse me, I got choked up here. Yeah, excuse me. So that and the whole plan is to be bigger on the defensive line and stuff to run. And it's also because we got a couple of young linebackers that are really fast. We're just trying to get them into the NFL. Willie Gay missed a couple games and he had some weird personal issue. Did some stupid stuff on Twitter. I don't want to go into much detail. We got a rookie linebacker who's going to take over as the middle linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Lots of upside. Kind of last couple of games didn't play so well. So the Chiefs are trying to add more size on the defensive line. And that's why. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you, but I'm just telling you what the Chiefs are doing because Jared Reed has not panned out so far. He's on a 1-year deal. He'll be gone. And then the other 2 defensive tackles are guys that really were supposed to be in a 3-4 defense. So Denver, it's the glorious Patriot. That's why. He's younger than Sewell, and he's a better wideout. I didn't know he was younger than Sewell, though. But it's a lot of fun what they're doing, man. It's a lot of fun what they're doing. But yeah, I liked Matt Ryan in over on passing yards. I'm going to pass on making the bet, but that is one I like. Yeah, you should. You should. And this is kind of negative, is that if they have the number 1 pick in the draft, it's Thibodeau. It's no big deal. If they pick number 2, they're probably going to take Hamilton. Okay. Let's say they pick let's just say they're 3 or worse. All right. Let's just say 3 or worse. Getting Hamilton may or may not happen. And it's going to depend a lot on the combine and what happens. Don't forget, we talked about Jalen Smith for Green Bay. He was a top 5 player, and he destroys his leg in the Pro Bowl. Or I'm sorry, in I think it was Orange Bowl game. So, I mean, we got a long ways to go. So, by the way, Chris Jones, we spent some time talking about Chris Jones. John Dorsey, 2nd round pick. Just saying. Yeah, I got you. The glorious Patriot way. Yeah, the Patriot way is not working in Miami. Go figure. It didn't work anywhere else. So, Sunday night football, Indianapolis Colts at San Francisco. The Colts are a 4-point dog. Over under is 43. I love the over in this game. And I like the Colts in this game. A banged up Garoppolo, a banged up Trent Williams, game time decision if he's going to play or not play. If I could take the Colts in 4 without Trent Williams and Garoppolo starting, by the way, the rookie quarterback, Trey Lance is out. Trey Lance isn't going to play at all. He's not going to be active for the game. So I really like Indianapolis in this game. I like them to win outright, to be perfectly honest. I would love to take 4 if I can get Williams out. If Williams is out and I can get 4, I'm going to take the Colts in this game. Finally, Monday Night Football, the Saints are 4.5-point favorites at Seattle. For those of you who don't know, I got a grand on Seattle over 10 wins, which is money burnt, unfortunately. I still have hopes that Seattle can get it turned around. The over-under is 42.5, which I get it, but I haven't checked the weather report, but I kind of like the over on this game, even though the Saints do have a pretty good defense. Hopefully Seattle can get it turned around. I'm not going to bet on this game, but please, Seattle, get a win. So the Patriot way made Detroit. The Patriot way has not worked anywhere. All right, Kansas City tried it. It was a disaster. The Jets tried it. It was a disaster. Denver sort of kind of tried it with Josh McDaniels. It didn't work. Houston Texans sort of kind of, I mean, they had a lot of Patriots ex-coaches. So, and Tennessee under Vrabel, I don't consider that the Patriots way at all. No, the Patriot way has only worked in New England with Tom Brady. It is what it is. I'm not insulting Bill Belichick. I think Bill Belichick is the greatest NFL coach of all time. But so far, the Patriot way has only worked with Tom Brady. That's a fact. That's not debatable. Now, if you want to say, well, wait a minute, Dan, they went 11-5 with Matt Castle. Yes, they did. And they did not make the playoffs that year. So the Patriot way only works with Tom Brady. Can that change? Absolutely. But it's a fact right now. Do you think the Chiefs still win the West? I think the Chiefs win the West. Matter of fact, I do think the Chiefs win the West. And matter of fact, I'll do this right now. I'll do it on the fly. Here's why I like the Chiefs to win the West. All right. They are 1 game behind the Chargers and the Raiders. Okay. And they'll play the Raiders twice. And they'll also play the Chargers. All right. But the thing is about the Kansas City Chiefs is that after this game, their schedule is pretty favorable, to be perfectly honest. All right. You get the Giants at home. You get Green Bay at home. Then you go to Vegas. You get Dallas at home. You get a bye week. Perfect time for bye week. Then in December, which is a tough place to play, Arrowhead's tough in December. You get Denver at home after a bye. Andy Reid's record after a bye is like 16-2. You get the Raiders at home, right? Thursday night game, advantage Andy Reid versus a rookie coach. Pittsburgh at home. Now, Cincinnati on the road now looks like a tough one. And then the last game of the season will be at Denver. So the Kansas City Chiefs schedule, it becomes very, very favorable. Very, very favorable. And did I read this right? Yeah, I did. 6 home games after this Tennessee game. And if they win this Tennessee game, I mean, who's going to beat them? Who's going to beat them? So I mean, here's the thing. I actually think that here's the deal. If the Chiefs lose this game, which I don't think they will, but let's just say they do, they'll be 3-4. I'm not afraid of the Raiders. And I think the Chargers are massively exposed. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Usually, as a general rule of thumb, if you go back in time, it seems like a 10-win team that misses the playoffs one year means a 9-win team will make it the next year. That happened in Kansas City. Dick Vermeil's last season, they went 10-6, missed the playoffs. Herm Edwards came in, they went 9-7, made the playoffs. And that kind of seems to be a trend. But since the NFL's going to 17 games, who knows? As of right now, only the Raiders, Chargers, Titans, Browns, Bengals, Ravens, and Bills have winning records. So that's 8. So which team would be on the outside looking in? Right now it would be the Browns because they're 4-3. But I mean, at the way they're going, they'll probably finish 9-8 and it'd be on the outside. So Packers Cards is a Thursday. That sucks for a big game. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool. Okay. I don't like football on Thursday, period. Okay. I don't like football on Thursday, period. It should be the opening game and it should be Thanksgiving, and that's it. That's it. But if you are going to have a game on Thursday night, I want to see Rodgers and Murray. I want to see last year's MVP and this year's MVP. I think Murray's MVP. Right now, the MVP race is Kyler Murray and Derrick Henry. I got Murray over Henry by like this much. If Henry hits 2,000, you got to give it to him. No running back. And I'm hearing, I see on social media people talk about Derrick Henry being an all-time great running back. He's not there yet. Somebody put him at number 6 all time. And I'm like, no. But he's doing some great stuff. He was offensive player of the year. And he's got a chance to be MVP, but if he's going to win MVP, he's got to hit 2,000. I agree. I think the Lions are the only team to try the Patriot way in the NFC. Maybe. That's my opinion. It hasn't worked anywhere, and it looked like Miami was doing it right, but they're just falling apart. And there's a lot of issues. I'm not going to dive into great detail about the Miami Dolphins, but they drafted Austin Jackson and the 18th pick overall, and it was kind of a project because he's only 20, and they're going to put him on the left side. Well, against Jacksonville, they moved him on the inside. So you have the 18th overall playing guard. That's not a good thing. And then your second round rookie that you got out of Notre Dame is supposed to be your right tackle. He's playing on the left side. So, they're doing all sorts of creative things on the offensive line. They're trying to get Tua right. Dolphins could rebound. I've seen a lot of teams. Matter of fact, look at last year, the Giants and Redskins. I think the Washington football team started off like 1-5, won the division. Giants started off 0-5, finished 6-10. Could Miami rebound? Yeah. This is a perfect opportunity. They're at home against an Atlanta team that's probably not going to the playoffs this year. But yeah, you're probably right. I love what they're doing now. I keep on saying the same thing over and over again, is that the future's bright. And look, I don't think golf is terrible, but I get why you guys hate them. So absolutely. I mean, Packers are playing great right now. AFC is a stronger division, in my opinion. I think so. Because in the AFC, you got a couple teams. I mean, you got Tennessee. That's not there yet. Kansas City. Nobody wants to play Kansas City in the playoffs. I mean, that's a dangerous team if they get into the playoffs. The Raiders, if they get into the playoffs, they're a dangerous team. I mean, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Baltimore are all really good teams. One of those teams probably going to sit out, and probably one of those three teams probably going to have a winning record and sit out. And I didn't even mention Pittsburgh. I think the Patriots will bounce back a little bit. I mean, they're going to get a win. All right, look, the Patriots are going to get a win, and the Patriots are going to be 3-4. And they're going to start getting better and better. If you play New England in the playoffs and Mac Jones continues to improve, that's a team you really don't want to face. So, but the NFC, I mean, you have to understand, it's funny because in the NFC, I think it's three big teams. I think it's the Rams, I think it's the Cardinals, and I think it's Tampa Bay. But I got Dallas, that's 5-1. I don't think they're a great team. And I got Green Bay, who's 5-1. I don't think it's a great team. And Green Bay's probably going to beat the Washington football team. Green Bay's 6-1, and I'm not even considering them a top team. I do think the AFC's better, but I mean, there's some really good teams. This is a great year for football, man. Isn't it a great year? Great year. Any Super Bowl favorites starting to be clear? Is it still too early? It is too early because you have injuries. It's still too early. I mean, let's face it. The number one team that's scared right now is the Rams. The Rams are extremely thin. Same thing with the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Either one of those teams could have like one or two minor injuries and just fall apart. Last year, Kyler Murray was playing like an MVP and he got injured against the Rams and then he kind of went out of the race. And the team also kind of went down just a little bit. Russell Wilson, listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. If Seattle can just stay in the hunt and Russell Wilson comes back, that team's all of a sudden dangerous. I mean, if Russell Wilson comes back and they're like 3-7, he's probably going to sit for the rest of the year. But if Seattle's 5-4 and Russell Wilson comes back, you don't want to play Seattle in the playoffs, not with a rested, healthy Russell Wilson. So, I mean, remember when Kansas City won Super Bowl, Mahomes sat out for a couple games. He came back, and then all of a sudden Chiefs got healthy. Tampa Bay had all sorts of injuries, and then all of a sudden playoff time comes by. They're completely healthy, and they're killing people. One thing you've noticed if you followed football is that the team that wins the Super Bowl is healthy during the playoffs. So yes, it is still early. AFC favorites, Buffalo and Baltimore. Baltimore's my 1, Buffalo's my 2. NFC, Tampa Bay's my 1, Arizona's my 2, and the Rams right now are my number 3, even though they would have to go on the road. Rams get an injury, then they drop out. But I mean, I think Tampa Bay and Arizona are really, 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 really close. I'm not just saying that because I got Corey who comes on my show every Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, Arizona's the only undefeated team. They got the most exciting, explosive quarterback. He's got multiple receivers. And then on the defense, Isaiah Simmons, they finally figured out how to use him right. You got J.J. Watt, who's going to be in a Pro Football Hall of Fame. They got Xavier Collins, the rookie linebacker. A major man crush on him. He makes some plays. Byron Murphy's starting to turn around. Budda Baker's one of the best safeties in football. Not as good as the Honey Badger, but still a really damn good player. Yeah, Arizona's a damn good team. And what's everybody saying? Tampa Bay's still better. So, I mean, today, right now, I would tell you Tampa Bay and Baltimore. So, That's why I'm glad we got Wirfs, because I was here in Miami, wanted to trade up to get Wirfs, and we got him because we moved up one spot. Yeah, I mean, if Austin Jackson, if they, I didn't even know that they moved them inside. They moved them inside the guard, and if that's the case, that's a major swing and a miss, because he was picked 18th, which was I thought way too high, because that year they had the 5th pick, which they used on Tua, 18, which they used on Austin Jackson, and then they went from 26 to 30 with the trade with Green Bay. Of course, Green Bay traded up to get Jordan Love, so they moved down to 30, and they took Noah Smith. I can't pronounce the last name. And it's at 1:45, so I'm going to wrap up here in a few minutes. So, in June will be the. I'm sorry, I can't even do it. So anyway, and hasn't really produced yet. So I mean, and if you get rid of Tua, then you got 3 first-round picks, and you're 0 for 3. And you traded down, and you traded down. You got another player, so that's a major whiff. Yeah. They wanted. I think they wanted worse. But if I remember right, you got him at 13, and I could be wrong, but I think you got him at 13, and Miami was picking at 18. So yeah. NFC, we're starting to see some separate. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the NFC is a 3-team race, and it's funny because you have a 5-1 Packers team with last year's MVP as quarterback. And I love the Jalen Smith with Whitney Merciless additions. Brilliant moves, by the way. And I'm still not considering them in the top spot. Dallas Cowboys 5-1. I think that they're maybe they win the NFC East, but yeah. That's what I think. It's kind of funny because if you watch it, that's kind of what it looks like. You're not including a 5-1 Packers team or a 5-1 Cowboys. So I'm hoping my Bucks get home field. I don't want to go to LA unless it's in the Super Bowl. No, I don't blame you, but I mean, hey, you won 3-0 on the road last year, so yeah. Oh, yeah. If you didn't see it, did you? I know you saw it, but if you didn't see it, they were like he does like some stuff. So anyway, he was reading off the teleprompter. And it was a surprise. They brought in like a bunch of people he didn't know about. He didn't know about it. I don't think he's that good of an actor. So he didn't know about it. And then they announced on teleprompter he's in the Ring of Honor. Loved Chris Spielman. If you don't like Chris Spielman, you don't like football. Yeah. That was awesome the way you saw. I know you saw. I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah, I saw it. I think Arizona problem is people haven't seen them perform in the big stage. They're not sold yet. They have some injuries in the secondary, which kind of bothers me a little bit. More than I don't think it's an issue with Arizona. I think it's just Tampa Bay's just that good, and you don't want to go against Brady. That's just all it is. I mean, Brady's playing great. The defense is amazing. But the thing is, I really like about Tampa Bay is that you got Leonard Fournette. All right, you got 240-pound sledgehammer with breakaway speed, and you can't put 7 in the box because you got Tom Brady with a trio of stud receivers. I think Arizona, I'll be honest, you'd put Arizona maybe in the AFC. They're maybe the best team in the AFC, hands down. And the reason why I say that is because Baltimore has a lot of injuries. Kansas City's 3-3. Tennessee, of course, they beat Kansas City. They're all of a sudden a Super Bowl caliber team, but we have Sunday to play. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So, but I think the issue with Arizona, but I mean, Corey was in earlier. He said that people are saying there's several teams better and that they're being shit on. I'm surprised about that. I'm really surprised about that because I don't see that at all. I just, the only reason they're not widely considered the best team in the NFC is because you got Tom Brady, who already won Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, and that team looks better. That team, it really does. Tampa Bay this year looks better than last year's team that won the Super Bowl by over 3 touchdowns, and they look better. They do. Tampa Bay looks scary. Rodgers to the Steelers. I think Denver makes a lot more sense. if I really think Denver makes a lot more sense, but changes will have to be made. He's not going to Denver and playing under Shermer, but I think Rodgers to Denver makes a lot more sense, and Manning to Denver works. I don't see Rodgers going to Pittsburgh. I really don't. But I do see Taylor Lewan going to Pittsburgh maybe before the trade deadline. I could see that this year. In 2022, and Jordan Love bus. Oh, okay. Rodgers to the Steelers, and then I don't understand what's going to happen there. I thought Green Bay made such a mistake trading up for a quarterback when you got to the NFC Championship game the year before. So, it's Jordan. Bingwood, it is awesome. Poor AJ Brown, can't believe what happened to him. It's kind of crazy. Are you talking about the food poisoning? Is that what you're referring to? Unfortunately, it happens. I mean, it's happened to me a couple of times. If that's what you're referring to, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure. But listen, I've been going on for an hour and 50. I'm starting to lose my voice, even though I've been drinking I promise you it's coffee. It is not Red Bull vodka mixed with cocaine. I promise you it's not that. For the draft predicts, I'm going to try to have them on next week's show. If I don't have them on next week, I'm going to try to have him on in the future. I didn't know he did sports betting. So since he did put he has action on Cincinnati plus 6.5. I would advise against it personally, but he had a great video why he did it. So hopefully I'll have him on the show soon. I got action Arizona 2.5. I also like the Matt Ryan over on yards. Of course, I'm not putting action on. I would love to take Mahomes over on yards. I'd love to take Derrick Henry over on yards. The numbers are too big. I'd love to take the over on the Chiefs Titans. Again, the number's too big. Now, before I go out, please give me thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. It also means the world to me to put a comment in there. You can always follow me. All my social media is below. You can also email me. I have these comments go direct to my phone. I will see them, and I can respond to you if you have some questions you want to make. So I said this at the beginning of the season, they should win with Locke. But the problem is Shermer and the conservative play calling, and it's a damn shame because Denver's got so much skill position talent. It's crazy, and they just don't know how to use it. And I think Shermer's the wrong guy. And this puts Fangio on the hot seat. So I think Denver Gator said he thinks it's going to be the bye week, and I should have looked this up before I went in. But let's see. Denver has their bye week 11. Week 11. Okay. So Denver's going to play 3 games before the bye. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me week 11, Shermer's gone. And they really need to. But keep in mind, Washington at Dallas and Philly, if they win 2 of those games, then definitely Shermer will stay. If they get swept and you go 0-7, they could make big changes in Denver. There's a lot of talent in that Broncos team. No joke, lots of talent. But there's no excuse to hold a team to 17 points on the road and lose. Not in AFC West. Not when you got Mahomes, Carr, and Herbert. You can't do it. Yeah, this happens. And yeah, you got it. Chipotle always, I won't go into it. Yeah, it is a shame. But, man, I will see you Wednesday, Denver Gator. Man, I'm sorry about the loss. I legitimately am. Actually, this is a great comment. Denver, is Mullen safe? He's getting killed by Gator Nation. Amazement. I don't know if you follow me on social media or not. Me and Denver Gator chat on Twitter. My Twitter link is below. Follow me on Twitter. Denver Gator will have some stuff on there. Usually does some good stuff. But I think I'm going to answer for you, even though I know very little about college football. Mullen is safe. I think the University of Florida really likes him. Another thing is that I saw right before I came on, I just screen shared it, but they have a top 10 recruiting class. I want to say 4 or 5, but Florida has a top 10 recruiting class coming in. Some really young quarterbacks. So he is definitely safe this year. You don't bring in a top 10 quarterback or top 10 recruiting class plus have either a freshman. Their starting quarterback's a sophomore. I mean, unless he loses the rest of the games, he is safe for right now. Is my opinion. But now, Denver Gator, follow me on Twitter, and we'll definitely bring that up later. But everybody, please, before you leave, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to drop a comment below. Again, it would really help me out. And I will see everybody back on